Hi guys, it's Katie here. I am here filming a very spontaneous video with you today. I didn't plan to film this. I have been on a kind of post-gig blues, I guess, feeling today. Because last night I went to go see Hosier. Some of you might have heard of him. He's a Irish musician and I love him. So I'm really feeling the after effects. I'm quite sad because I had to run for the last train home after the gig, and I just found out today that quite a few people were waiting at the stage doors after the gig, and they got in backstage to meet the band and get things signed and chat. So I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't just do that and deal with the consequences after. Get a bus home, I don't know, but I can't dwell on that too much because I might start crying. Just have to hope that next time he does the same thing, the band do the same thing, and I would definitely recommend seeing him live. And if you haven't really listened to his music, to give it a listen. He's probably up there, or he's definitely up there with my favourite artists. So this is also a bit of a different setup. Usually I film in the day, but I was just kind of feeling down, so I wanted to film, cheer myself up a little bit. So I'm really sorry if you can kind of hear people walking past. I don't know, some people might prefer that this lighting is kind of dimmer, it's not so bright, might be a bit more relaxing. Just let me know what you think. And I don't really have a plan for what I'm going to film, so I just thought I would kind of roll with it and see what I wanted to do. So I have two books here. The first one is really pretty. I'm such a sucker for nice book covers. This one is Poems to Live Your Life By. And it's kind of a, can't tell in this light, but I think it's dark purple with these beautiful gold foiling. And this is by Chris Riddle. And he's chosen poems to go into this, and then he's illustrated them to kind of match what he imagines when he's reading the poem. So they have split it up into categories, I guess. So we have musings, youth, family, love, imaginings, nature, war, endings. So I'm not going to read them all. I will pick ones that speak to me, I guess, as I'm flicking through. And I'll let you see the illustrations as well. So the first one is Musings. So I might as well start with the first one, which is from The Tempest, which is from William Shakespeare. And you can see a kind of ogre, like a lizard looking man. and it's called The Isle is Full of Noises. And it says, "Be not afeard, the isle is full of noises, sounds and sweet airs that give delight, and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twanglings instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices, that, if I had then waked after a long sleep, will make me sleep again, and then, in dreaming, the clouds methought would open and show riches, ready to drop upon me. And when I waked, I cried to dream again." I like this one as well. So this is "There is a Pleasure in the Pathless Woods" from Childe Harold's Pilgrimage by George Gordon, Lord Byron. And kind of shows someone, can't see if, yep, kind of looks like he's about to go on a journey. "There is a pleasure in the pathless woods, there is a rapture on the lonely shore, there is society where none intrudes, by the deep sea, and music in its roar. I love not man the less, but nature more. From these are interviews in which I steal from all I may be, or have been before, to mingle with the universe, and feel what I can ne'er express, yet cannot all conceal." This one is quite a famous poem by Robert Frost. It's called "The Road Not Taken." "Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, and just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, some were ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference." I think the "road less travelled" is quite a famous quote from the poem. It's a nice illustration for this one. Okay, so the next category is youth. Okay, this is a long one, but I'm going to do my best to read it. So this one is called "Smoke Signals" by Phoebe Bridgers. Okay. "I went with you up to the place you grew up in, and we spent a week in the cold, just long enough to walden it with you. Any longer it would have got old. Singing Ace of Spades when Lemmy died, but nothing's changed, LA's alright. Sleeping in my bed again, and getting in my head, and then walk around the reservoir. You must have been looking for me, sending smoke signals, pelicans circling, burning trash out on the beach. One of your eyes is always half shut. Something happened when you were a kid, and I didn't know you then, and I'll never understand why it feels like I did. How soon as now, in an 80s sedan, you slept inside of it because your dad lived in a campground in the back of a van. You said that song will creep you out until you're dead. I want to live at the Holiday Inn, where somebody else makes the bed. We'll watch TV while the lights on the streets put all the stars to death. It's been on my mind since Bowie died, just checking out to hide from life. And you must have been looking for me, sending smoke signals, pelican circling, burning trash out on the beach. I buried a hatchet. It's coming up lavender. The future's unwritten. The past is a corridor. I'm at the exit looking back through the hall. You are anonymous. I am a concrete wall. Okay, next category is family. This is a really, or reasonably, famous poem called Digging. It's by Seamus Heaney. You can see a man is digging. Between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests snug as a gun. Under my window, a clean rasping sound. When the spade sinks into gravelly ground, my father digging, I look down. Till the straining rump along the flower beds. It bends low, comes up 20 years away, stooping in rhythm through potato drills where he was digging. The coarse boot nestled on the lug, the shaft, against the inside knee, was levered firmly. He rooted out tall tops, buried and bright edge deep, to scatter new potatoes that we picked, loving their cool hardness in our hands. By God, the old man could handle a spade, just like his old man. My grandfather cut more turf in a day than any other man on Toner's bog. Once I carried him milk in a bottle, corked sloppily with paper. He straightened up, to drink it, then fell to right away, nicking and slicing neatly, heaving sods over his shoulder, going down and down for the good turf, digging. The cold smell of potato mould, the squelch and slap of soggy peat, the curts, cut of an edge, through living roots awaken in my head, but I have no spade to follow men like them. Between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests. I'll dig with it. So the next category is love. Sorry, I'm skipping through this quite quickly, but I have another book as well I want to get to. So this one's called Something Rhymed, and it's by Jackie Kay. You're a gem, you're a holy cairn, you're a clattering shaw, you're a tongling bridge, you're a Solway Firth, you're a big water of fleet, you're an old song, you're a valley. This feeling inside me could never deny me. You're a red deer of the forest, you're a wild goat of the moor, you're a bladnoch malt, a Whithorn story, you're a friend, you're a glory. Nothing old, nothing new, nothing ventured. Oh, you are definitely, so completely, the brightest girl of the glen. You're a bee swing, you sing in a voice like a freshwater spring. Nothing older than time, nothing sweeter than mine. You are my Pinwary, you're my Loch Doon and Galloway, you're my gatehouse of Fleet, you're philosophical, all loose bay, and Wopstill. Nothing I couldn't say. This one is called There is a Field. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. That's by Rumi. This one is called Suzanne. You can see her there. and this is by Leonard Cohen. Suzanne takes you down to her place near the river. You can hear the boats go by, you can spend the night beside her, and you know that she's half crazy, but that's why you want to be there. And she feeds you tea and oranges that come all the way from China. And just when you mean to tell her that you have no love to give her, then she gets you on her wavelength and she lets the river answer. So you've always been her lover, and you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know that she will trust you, for you've touched her perfect body with your mind. And Jesus was a sailor when he walked upon the water, and he spent a long time watching from his lonely wooden tower. And when he knew for certain only drowning men could see him, he said, "All men will be sailors then, until the sea shall free them." And he himself was broken, long before the sky would open. Forsaken, almost human, he sank beneath your wisdom like a stone. And you want to travel with him, and you want to travel blind, and you think maybe you'll trust him, for he's touched your perfect body with his mind. Now Suzanne takes your hand, and she leads you to the river. She is wearing rags and feathers from Salvation Army counters, and the sun pours down like honey on Our Lady of the Harbour. And she shows you where to look, among the garbage and the flowers. There are heroes in the seaweed, there are children in the morning. They are learning, they are leaning out for love, and they will lean that way forever. While Suzanne holds the mirror, and you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know that you can trust her, for she's touched your perfect body with her mind. This is Eat, and it's called He Wishes for the Cloths of Heaven, and this is another really famous poem. It's actually the back page has a abstract from it. Had I the heavens embroidered cloths, enwrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark cloths, of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet. But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. There's another beautiful illustration here. I like this one. It's by Carol Ann Duffy, who was Poet Laureate. I don't know if she still is, I don't think she is. And it's called Valentine. Not a red rose or a satin heart. I give you an onion. It is a moon wrapped in brown paper. It promises light, like the careful undressing of love. Here, it will blind you with tears like a lover. It will make your reflection a wobbling photo of grief. I am trying to be truthful, not a cute card or a kissogram. I give you an onion. Its fierce kiss will stay on your lips, possessive and faithful, as we are, for as long as we are. Take it. Its platinum loops shrink to a wedding ring, if you like, lethal. Its scent will cling to your fingers, cling to your knife. Okay. This one is another long one. And it is by Neil Gaiman, who is a famous British author. He has been writing fiction and poetry for quite a while. He's probably most well known for writing Good Omens with Terry Pratchett and his Sandman series. And this poem is called Orphee. Orpheus was a musician. He made songs. He knew mysteries. One day the panther girls high on wine and lust came past and tore him flesh from flesh. His head still sang and prophesied as it floated down the sea. Do not look back. Do not look back. There was a girl, and he said she was his girl. He followed her to hell when she died. You could do that when your girlfriend dies. There are entrances to hell in every major city. So many doors. Who has time to look behind each one? When Orpheus was young, he got the girl back from hell safely. That's where the years came from. Eurydice comes home from hell, and the flowers bloom, and the world puddles and quickens, and it's spring. But that was never good enough. And before that spring story, it was a life and death tale. We got a million of them. If he hadn't looked back, if he just hadn't looked back, then all the people would come back from the dead, all the time, each of us. No more ghosts, no more darkness. And I believe that was from a famous Greek story where I can't remember his name, but he goes down to rescue his lover, and I don't know if it was Hades that said to him that he could bring his lover back to life as long as he didn't look behind him, and he gets pretty much to the exit, and then he looks behind him. I would go to hell to see you once more. There's a door on the 3rd floor of the New York Public Library, on the way to the men's toilets, by the little Charles Adams Gallery. It's never locked. You just have to open it. I would go to hell for you. I would tell them stories that are not false and that are not true. I would tell them stories until they wept salt tears and gave you back to me into the world. It doesn't have to be a year. I'd take a day. I'd take an hour. I'd walk in front of you to the light. But I'd look back, wouldn't I? We all would. The ones who can't look back, who can only stare in the sunrise ahead of them, stare into the glorious future. Those people don't get to visit hell. So Orpheus came back and carried on, because he had to, and he made magic and sang songs. He taught that there was only truth in dreams. That was one of the mysteries. In dreams, the veil was lifted, and you could see so far forward you might as well have been looking back. I presume the character was Orpheus. Some die in Washington, D.C., or in London, or in Mexico. They do not look forward to their deaths. They glance aside or down, or they look back. Every hour wounds. That was what she told me. Every hour wounds. The last one kills. And looking back now, she's standing naked in the moonlight. Her breast is already blackening, her body a feast of tiny wounds. Izanagi followed his wife to the Shadowlands, but he looked back. He saw her face, her dead face, and he fled. I dreamed today of bone-white horses, stamping and nuzzling in the bright sunshine, and of orange poppies which swayed and danced in the spring wind. Do not look back. She had the softest lips, he said. He said she had the softest lips of all, and her head still sang and prophesied as it floated down to the sea. Okay, that's all I'm going to read from this book. I'm going to move on to Yeats. W. B. Yeats, to be precise. And he was a Irish poet and writer, born in 1865, I think. They're kind of mid to late 1800s. And he was born in Dublin. And this Penguin classic is called A Terrible Beauty is Born. So I'm just going to pick a couple. This one is called Down by the Sally Gardens. Down by the Sally Gardens my love and I did meet. She passed the Sally Gardens with little snow-white feet. She bid me take love easy, as the leaves grow on the tree. But I, being young and foolish, with her would not agree. In a field by the river my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow-white hand. She bid me take life easy, as the grass grows on the weirs. But I was young and foolish, and now I'm full of tears. So here's the Chorus of Heaven poem again. This one is called No Second Troy. Why should I blame her that she filled my days with misery, or that she would of late have taught to ignorant men most violent ways, or hurled the little streets upon the great, had they but courage equal to desire? What could have made her peaceful with a mind that nobleness made simple as a fire, with beauty like a Titan bow, a kind that is not natural in an age like this, being high and solitary and most stern? Why, what could she have done? Being what she is, was there another Troy for her to burn? It's about Helen of Troy, I think. This one's called A Coat. I made my song a coat, covered with embroideries, out of old mythologies, from heel to throat. But the fools caught it, wore it in the world's eyes, as though they'd wrought it. Song, let them take it, for there's more enterprise in walking naked. Okay, this one's called 16 Dead Men. Oh, but we talked at large before, the 16 men were shot. But who can talk of grief and take? But who should talk of give and take? But who can talk of give and take? What should be and what not? All those dead men are loitering there to stir the boiling pot. You say that we should still the land till Germany's overcome. But who is there to argue that? Now Paris is deaf and dumb, and is there logic to outweigh Macdonough's bony thumb? How could you dream they'd listen? They have an ear alone for those new comrades they have found, Lord Edward and Wolfe Tone, or meddle with their give and take that converse bone to bone. For a specific one. Okay, I'm going to finish on this one. This one is called The Second Coming, so it's quite apocalyptic. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the centre cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out, when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in sands of the desert, a shape with a lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun. It moves its slow thighs, while all about it, real shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle, and what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know what you think of the new setup.